or so. So everybody, stand by. Doreen, I love it. Doreen says, I want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Thanksgiving. I would agree. With that, let's rock and roll. I'm going to share 10 tools and tech that have helped me close 13 transactions since September 1st. Honestly, I should double check that. It's like I didn't close any on September 1st. So it's actually a shorter window of time, but you get the point. Since September 1st, 13 closed transactions. As of 2 o'clock this afternoon, it will be 15. Hopefully, as long as nothing goes wrong. I have one that's a settlement that's happening as we speak, and then I have one at 1 o'clock. The 10 tools and tech, it's a combination of softwares and other tools that I use on a regular basis that has helped me with that. And I'm going to share exactly what they are. I'm going to share how I use them, what sort of results they generate for me, what role they play, and then I want to share the 3. If I boil it down to the minimum effective dose, which 3 I would recommend if you're starting from scratch. Like if you dropped me into a completely new market, or I was starting over, all my contacts got erased and I literally was starting from scratch, which 3 would be the sort of minimum effective dose for me to get rolling? And I don't have any slides or presentation today. I'm literally just going to share my screen and show the different tools on my laptop. And after this, with the replay, I'll have a nice little formatted document for those of you that want to check them out, for those of you that may want to sign up for or sign up for a free trial with a tool or tech or any of these who might be interested. So let's get right into it. And let me share I got to find the right tab. Here we go. Bold Trail, number 1. Bold Trail, my primary CRM. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to use Bold Trail. We get Bold Trail over here at eXp. And if you're thinking about or open to making a move, we would love to chat with you about partnering together so we can help you crush it in 2026. But you have to have, you have to have a primary CRM. Like, let's face facts. If you're in this for the long game, you have to have some sort of CRM. There are lots of great ones out there. And I will readily admit, Bold Trail is not perfect. Far from it. But it's the one I use. We get it here at eXp, and it works well enough for me that it generates me more business. You might be using Follow Up Boss. You might be using Sierra Interactive. You might be using Lofty. You might be using Real Geeks. You might be using Realty Juggler. You might be using whatever. Insert whatever. A CRM's got to be one of your tools and techs. None of them are perfect. The best one is the one you actually use. Period. Okay? So I'm going to dive a little bit deeper on Bold Trail. Specifically, how has this helped me close transactions over the last year? Specifically, part of my hook for the training today was the number of transactions since September 1st. Specifically, how it helps me is, number 1, every contact, every new lead that comes in, many of which come from some of the other tools that I'm going to share. Every single one of them, I add to either a market report or a search alert. So no matter how busy I am, contacts in my CRM are being followed up upon. They're getting follow-up communications. I'm going to switch off of this. Hold on. There's contact information on here, and I don't want YouTube to rip it down. I didn't realize there were phone numbers at the bottom. So I'm gonna just go to a blank screen here. I'm gonna talk about it, and then I'm gonna go to the next tools. I don't think any of the rest of the tools that I'll be utilizing and sharing might throw up a red flag. So I want to talk a little bit more about it. So number one, a market report or a search alert. What does that do for me? That means that, number one, no matter how busy I am, the contacts in there are getting relevant information from me on a regular basis. If James opts in my Bold Trail, and I know James's current address and that he owns a home, and I send him a market report once a month for the city or the zip code or the area that he lives in, that's relevant. I'm not sending him, no judgment here. Actually, there is judgment here. Stop. Don't send like canned recipes or like canned national real estate news. That's not relevant. Search alerts based upon the type of property that someone requested information on, or a market report based upon the city or town that they currently live in, is relevant to those folks. I also use it to fire off smart campaigns. For example, when a cash offer request lead comes in, there's a specific set of actions that happen. There's a series of emails. There's a series of text messages. They get added to a direct mail list, which is one of my other tools that I will share. And that's another way that it is sort of insurance against me dropping the ball. Because if I'm busy or things are going on, I'm at a settlement, I'm on an appointment, whatever, it's working on my behalf. Okay? A CRM. Tool number one, a CRM. And by the way, these are in no particular order except for the last three. I saved the quote unquote minimum effective dose for the last three. Okay. But otherwise, they're really in no particular order here. Okay. I'm just sharing. Number two is listings to leads. You can get a free 21-day trial at growwithjosh.com/L2L. The number L, the number two. I'm sorry, the letter L, the number two, the letter L. growwithjosh.com/L2L. There are lots of cool things and features and benefits of listings to leads. For me, I'm a big Pareto principle kind of guy. Like, what's the 80-20? What's the 20% that'll get me the 80% results? In fact, it's why I have a minimum effective dose at the end here of, if you only had to pick three, what three would you use if I was starting over? For me, the thing that I use most often that generates me the most tangible results is their listing lead capture pages. So when I promote a new listing, which I did this morning on my morning live stream, I had a listing go live this morning, and I have an organic, meaning like a free posting strategy that generates me inbound leads. Their landing pages are what works best. So I'll show real quick. And again, there's lots of other cool things about listings to leads. So I don't mean to diminish the other stuff, but for me, that is the thing that gets me the most tangible results. So each listing that I have, it creates a full marketing suite. Once again, 80-20. What's the 20% that gets me the 80? When I do my social media posting for a new listing, when it loads up here for me, this link, I've tested lots of different tools. I've tested the single family or single property sites with Bold Trail. I've tested other lead capture. This page for listings converts the best. So well that I have new signs that I am using on all of my new listings that have a custom text code, which I use Bold Trail for, my CRM for, and then they have a giant QR code. And when you scan the QR code, they are taken to the single property page. They work like crazy. They generate me lots of free leads. Every listing of mine, I generate free leads. Every one. Sometimes it's a handful, sometimes it's 50. But that's more contacts in my database. The more contacts I have in my database, the more conversations or conversation opportunities I have. The more conversations I have, the more contracts I write, the more closings. Lots of other cool things in here. They've got PDF guides. Here's a big one. If you are running or want to run Facebook ads, very quick and easy to set those up in Listings to Leads. In fact, I may do a deeper dive on Listings to Leads in December, maybe on a mastermind. I want to keep it moving along here because I do want to allow time for Q&A, and I have a settlement at 1 that I am attending. So I have a hard out from that perspective as well. But it's very quick and easy to launch Facebook or Meta lead ads, lead generation ads on Facebook and Instagram, aka Meta. Very quick and easy to do that once you have your social sites integrated. You can also auto post to your Google business profile, on X, on LinkedIn, etc. So lots of reasons to love Listings to Leads. How's that for alliteration? A lot of L's. That's number 2. So number 1, CRM. Number 2, Listings to Leads. Numero 3. And this one is kind of like 2 in 1. It's kind of like 2 in 1. Oh, I have my dashboard up here. That's not what I want. Fast Cash Offers. Fastcashoffers.ai. Fastcashoffers.ai. This is my enterprise version of a technology called iList Technologies. And it's essentially, I'm saying that this is 2 tools in 1, and here's why. Number 1, it's a seller engagement dashboard or a homeowner engagement dashboard. And I recorded a case study this weekend, how I took 2 new listings last week, 2 weeks ago now, one of which is this listing, using a 2 email, 1 text combo where the linchpin in it, like the centerpiece of it, is a dashboard, a homeowner dashboard that creates an engagement piece. It gives me something of value to offer the existing homeowners in my database, and then it gives me a reason or some specific reason. It gives me a reason to then follow up with them. So they are curious and they go look at their homeowner dashboard, and then I follow up with them. Okay, so that's tool number 1. The second thing is identifying and capturing extra leads. This is optional. There are 2 different things that are built on the same system. There is a script that you can install on any websites that you're getting that get traffic, whether you're paying for traffic or you have organic traffic or you're driving traffic organically through the strategy that I showed this morning. It captures more of the traffic that are going, the people that are going to look at the sites, and converts them into contacts in your database. Okay, this alone needs its own deep dive session, but you can book a demo with me. We've had Joe, the creator, on a number of times. You can go back and check out replays. You can join the free school community, Leads, Listings, Leverage. All of our replays are under the classroom session and replay. And we've had Joe on talking about the lead capture tool. We've had him on talking about the homeowner dashboard. And all of that is cool, but I'm telling you specifically, I'll give you 2 specific ways this has created more actual closed transactions for me in the last 3 months. I already gave 1. The case study that I did, I sent an email to all the homeowners in my database. So all the people in Bold Trail that I have their email address and their actual address. I sent them an email. The only intent of the email is to get them to click and check out their home value. It's the only intent of the email. For people that I also have a good cell phone that is subscribed to text, I send them a text that basically says, hey, I sent you an email. Go check it out. Okay, it says a little more than that, but you get the point. But the money is the follow-up the next day to the homeowners that went and looked at their dashboard. And I have 3 variations, and I just rotate them every month. Literally, just rotate through every month. And the last time I ran that campaign, that playbook, 2 weeks ago, I've now taken 2 listings from that process. That's number 1. Number 2, the website lead capture. In September, I've told this story a lot. I'm going to tell it again, and then I'm going to move on to the next tool because I'm beating a dead horse here. In September, over the weekend, I got 2 leads. I got a bunch of leads, but 2 of them in particular. On Monday morning, there's an automated campaign, right? Again, back to the CRM. The tool captures leads. It's more contacts in my CRM. Because I have automation set up, follow-up went out. The follow-up is simple. Hey, it looks like you were on our website over the weekend. One of the leads replied, I was looking for a friend. Both of them were looking on a the website they had visited was offering a cash offer. Okay, it's one of the websites that I have. It was offering a cash offer for people looking to sell quickly. She said, I was looking for a friend. I don't need it for myself. Her name is Vicky. Here's her phone number. Vicky was also in my database. We had also captured Vicky. It just so happened that Vicky's friend replied first. Have a conversation with Vicky. She gives me the scoop. She needs to sell. She's had it listed for a while. It goes to sheriff's sale on Friday. This is on Monday. I go and find the buyer. We negotiate for 48 hours. And Bryce, now an investor client of mine, who's looked at a bunch of other deals and made some other offers with me since then, bought the property. Like we solved her problem, closed transaction. That might have been the first one in September, actually. First of my deals closed. So very tactically, that's how 2 ways that this is actually turning into business. Okay. So we got 3: CRM, listings to leads, and fastcashoffers.ai. And for those of you during the Q&A, if you have questions about what does all this cost and this, that, and the other thing, I'll be happy to get into all of that. Most of what I'm offering either comes with a free trial and or is relatively low cost. And if your brain is saying otherwise, you might need to reset your mindset, because we get paid a lot in this business. And these tools are, all things considered, if you're a real business owner, they're drops in the bucket. Okay. Number 4 is PropStream. Number 4 is PropStream. When I'm going to pull big buckets of data, I will use PropStream. It is a data provider. We've since built something that is pretty cool, that in many ways negates the need for PropStream, but I still do use it from time to time. And it is one of the tools that I used to create the results that I shared, which, by the way, I said 13 closed transactions. I'm just going to brag a little bit just because, like, I just want to emphasize the point that I'm not talking from theory. 13 closed, 2 more today, 7 new listings, and I have 7 more deals in escrow right now. So, like, you know, I truly, like, I don't say that kind of stuff often, but like, I'm not trying to just pitch stuff or sell stuff. I'm showing what is working for me. That's all. Okay. So PropStream, I've demonstrated this tool lots. I'm using a new tool way more frequently. So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here, but it is still a great data source, and there's still a lot of use cases. I will use it to pull information on specific properties. I will use it to pull big buckets of data, like if I'm looking to pull a list of 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,500 of a specific type of homeowner, for example, or things of that nature. So you can see, man, it's chilly here, and I got a little runny nose, so I keep ducking away. So I still use it, still recommend it from time to time. There's a better option that I'll share in a few minutes for most of you anyway. Okay, so that's number 4. We got your CRM, listings to leads, fastcashoffers.ai, and PropStream. Number five is what I use as my, I'll call it my cold outreach engine. And I need to figure out a page on here. Here's what I'll pull. Let me show the actual info page. So my CRM is for actual opt-in data, my sphere of influence, my past clients, people that are warm contacts on some level. ProEdge I use as my cold outreach engine. This is where I take data that I've pulled and skip traced, etc., the PropStream, or now I can directly integrate and pull data with LeadDeck.ai. I'm going to get to that one. But regardless, this is where I do cold outreach. So I use this tool to promote new listings to agents in my market. In fact, I have to do that on my new listing this morning. The one that went live this morning, I still have to do that. It's not only is it a holiday week, my oldest son is coming home from college, flying home tonight. Pam and I are going to pick him up. Then it's his birthday tomorrow, and then it's Thanksgiving. So I'm trying to cram a full week's worth of work into like a day and a half. Anyway, I forgot to do that this morning. I will do that later today or tomorrow morning, more likely. But that's one way I use this tool, is to do cold outreach to agents. And specifically for listings, I will pull a reverse prospecting list. I'll clean it up. I'll import it in here, and I will text an email. Let's say James has a client that is interested in my new listing. I'll say, hey, James, it's Josh with eXp. It looks like you have a client who might be interested in our listing that just went live in Hanover. Thought I would let you know. Here's the client ID. Would love to see an offer or something like that. I have scripts and templates for that if you're going to use that. That's one way. The way that has been way more productive for me and has turned into way more like real transactions is reaching out to potentially motivated sellers and making an offer like this. Hey, James, would you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine before the end of the year? And we send that as a text message. We send that as an email. And I know that if I do that on a regular basis, it turns into more business. Specifically, I'll give you 3 examples that very tangible, like example number one, Steve, my guy Steve. I sent him a text message, that exact text message, maybe not exact. I didn't say by the end of the year. I said, hey, Steve, would you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine? ? He calls me. We end up, I have multiple conversations. I end up selling a buildable lot that he had. I end up selling a 2-unit that he had off market. He ended up referring me another client, and he's taking some of the proceeds of the first 2 and is making offers. We haven't had an accepted offer yet, but we'll get one. He wants to buy some land in the $200,000 to $300,000. So that one cold outreach text message, by the end of the year, or worst case scenario, first quarter of next year, will be more than $1 million in volume in my market, which, my average price point is like $300,000. So not too shabby. I won't even bother with, I could give you 3 other examples right now, but I want to keep it moving along. Okay. So that was, what's that? Tool number 5, right? So we got your primary CRM. We got listings to leads. We got PropStream. We got ProEdge. Was that only 4? It's a good thing I have them up on my screen here. FastCashOffers.ai. Thank you, Roger. Jeez, I'm confusing myself. Okay, so your primary CRM, listings to leads, FastCashOffers.ai, PropStream, and ProEdge. ProEdge is my cold outreach CRM. It's our guy, John Smarty. He built out a white label version of that. And very transparently, I really only use it to do cold text and email. Cold meaning, quote unquote, they didn't opt in. And I only do it with clean lists. In other words, I scrub them to make sure that I'm not doing outreach if they're on the DNC, things of that nature. Okay, just being as transparent as I humanly possibly can be. Okay, all right. What's next? I'm going to throw this one in here. Fast Cash Offers was kind of like two, right? Because you can use the lead capture tool without using the full-on platform and vice versa. So if you just want the homeowner engagement tool, you can use that. If you just want the lead capture script and tool, you can just use that, or you can use both. And one of them is pay as you go. The lead capture is pay as you go. The homeowner engagement tool is free for 30 days, free 30-day trial, and $77 per month after that. Okay, so that's kind of like two. I'm going to throw this one in here. I'm not going to spend much time. Zapier, I use it for a lot of different integrations. So I get leads from a number of different sources, and Zapier is one of the ways I make sure that those get fed into my primary CRM. I also use it for things like when I add, let's say, a motivated seller lead comes into my main CRM and I add them to a smart campaign. I have a Zap set up for a campaign that adds them to a direct mail list. Next tool, a direct mail list where they will get either a single piece of direct mail or a direct mail campaign using thanks.io. Thanks.io. And I've been using this one for years. And I'm going to log in and just show a couple of examples. The two ways that I most often use this tool, hopefully I'm not lagging too much. Am I lagging, James? A little bit? No, okay, good. I'm lagging on my end, but the two ways I use the tool most frequently. Number one, I'm going to show you. This is, I'll shut my screen share for a minute. This is a postcard that goes out automatically once a month to my entire SOI and past client list. The front is always the same. Okay. The back is dynamic based upon the time of the year and the recipient's address. The QR code, when they scan, takes them to their homeowner dashboard with fastcashoffers.ai, which gives me a conversation point, an opportunity to engage with them. And there's also some direct calls to action, right? They can call or text me. They can even email me. And that is the way that is set up in thanks.io is I have a mailing list. And as I want more people, as I add more people to this list, it just once a month, it staggers these out. Here's what I mean by that. If I go to my orders every day, because I'm constantly looking for people to add to the list. Meaning, let's say a motivated seller comes in this morning and I talk to him or her and they say, we were just kind of curious right now. We're really not ready to sell until the springtime. I'm going to make sure that they're in my bold trail and that they're set up on a market report and that I've got the appropriate future actions set so that, if they said we're going to sell in the spring, then I'm probably going to call or text or both sometime in January, early February at the latest. And also I add them to the list so that they're constantly getting this. Once a month, they're getting it updated. It's just another touch point. So every day for me, 12 of these went out yesterday. Every day, 10, 12, 13 of these go out to people on this mailing list. These are artifacts that people hang on to. Here's how I look at it. I hope this analogy hits. I use it. Maybe I need to come up with a better analogy because I don't know if it resonates. This, for me, is insurance against these folks buying or selling or investing in real estate with someone other than me. You all have, if you've been in this business for any length of time, you have experienced someone that you know sold or bought or did some sort of real estate related transaction, and they just forgot that you were in the business. They would have used you. They would have used you. They just forgot. That is not a good feeling. I've had it happen. This, for me, is insurance against that happening. That's what it is. It's about a buck. It's about $1 a month per contact on the list. Go ahead, Roger.
Do they use do you do like blast like a whole neighborhood or something like that using something like
you can, but I don't. Okay. You can, but I don't. If you're going to blast a neighborhood, if you're going to blanket a neighborhood, well, let me take that back. I do sometimes. That would be more if I'm doing just listed, or if I'm doing a coming soon, just listed, just sold campaign. That would blanket a neighborhood. And even in those cases, I will oftentimes use some other data to make sure that the people I'm blanketing, quote unquote, are more likely to be in the market. So, but this is, and I can probably during the Q&A, if depending on how much time, I can show what it just sold. Actually, no. Okay, you brought it up. So let me share one that I created and launched on the live stream a couple days ago. Let me find it here. I know it's here because I got a call yesterday from it, and I need to get back to that guy. Actually, I've been so busy. Here it is. So this is a just sold postcard from a property. Remember I mentioned Steve, the client I got from the cold outreach? This is one of the properties I sold for him. We sold it off market just because I was able to find a buyer before he was ready to put it on market. He was thrilled. I had a bunch of other buyers who were interested and looking for multifamily properties in this town, this borough. So I sent this just sold postcard to multifamily property owners in Manheim because this was a multifamily property, and I have multifamily property buyers. The back of the card. Hi, Dallas. We just sold the 2-unit at 344 South Charlotte Street in Manheim, off market to a cash investor. Obviously, we could only sell it to one investor, but we had 11 very interested buyers. That's true. I literally have them all in my phone. Like, I don't even, some of them are in my CRM, but they're all saved as multifamily buyers Manheim in my phone. If you'd consider selling yours which is their property, their multifamily property, please call or text me at this number. Or if you're just curious what 344 South Charlotte sold for, just scan the QR code to the right and let's chat. Now, in this instance, if you scan the QR code, you will be taken to my page that looks like this, which gives me, this is a page that I built with the ProEdge CRM. So I said I mainly use that for cold outreach, but I do also use it for a few other things. This is one of them. So this is like a Linktree style page. And on this card, where did it go? Losing track. Here it is. On this card, when they scan that, that's where they go. They go to, they can connect with me. Now, this went out to 43. That's all. 43. It was delivered. I don't think it was delivered does it say the delivery date? I think it was just recently delivered. And I've gotten one phone call so far on a property that is like a $700,000 multifamily property that the guy is at least, yeah. And here's what I know. Here's what I love about direct mail. It is an artifact. There are people that will save it. They'll put it on their refrigerator. They'll put it in their junk drawer. They'll put it in. They'll put it in. Some people just have like a bowl that they put like stuff in on that. Just leave it on their desk because they're going to get to it later. 100%. But that will not happen with an email or a voicemail or a text message. Okay? I mean, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't do those things. I'm suggesting that one of the reasons why I am so committed to direct mail is it is an artifact that you can get more business from. I've gotten deals. This is years ago, like mid 2000s. I've done deals with people that had held on to a postcard for 3+ years and then called. Hey, are you still doing XYZ? You know, in this case, do you still have any buyers who might be interested in a 2-unit in Manheim? You just never know. Man, I got off track a little bit on this one. I'll give one other example. I kind of hit on it. But one other use case that I do a lot with thanks is letters and note cards like this, pretty much making the same offer as I make when I'm doing cold outreach by text and email. Would you consider selling your property to a private client? All right, moving along. So to summarize, we had our primary CRM, listings to leads, fastcashoffers.ai, PropStream, ProEdge, our cold outreach CRM, Zapier, thanks, and I think now for me, these next three are minimum effective dose. In other words, if you're starting from scratch, if you have very little budget, if any, and you need to fill your pipeline fast, these three are what I would use. Okay, these three. Number one, ChatGPT. You can have the paid version or not. Here's how I would recommend you use it. It is a thought partner. It is your advisor. It is who you can bounce ideas off of without feeling embarrassed or ashamed or whatever. I mean, who cares? You can talk to ChatGPT. So ask it whatever's on your mind. Ask it for help with a marketing concept. Ask it for help. I don't like the way this sentence sounds. Can you help me clean up this sentence structure? Whatever. Use it as a partner. It will help you in getting clarity around your marketing plans and strategies, etc. Okay? Like everybody's talking about, AI this, AI that. And there's lots of wonderful uses of AI. But for me, the one that I use the most and the one that I just have conversations with is ChatGPT. Okay? And there's lots of, external GPTs you can add and this, that, and the other. But like, just talk to it. Explain your market. Explain what's going on. Talk to it about who your ideal client avatar is or you would like to be and how you can connect with those people. Or, talk to it about the listing that you're struggling to sell and see what idea, like just talk to it. Get ideas. Okay? Just bounce ideas and thoughts off of it. I also use it all the time for I've got 4 kids. I've had conversations with it about injuries that my kids have had. Hey, this is what's happening. My son, my 18-year-old son who's playing baseball at University of Louisville, he is this size, he's left-handed, and he's got this nagging injury that just won't go away. What do you have any recommendations? And you should see, some of the stuff that it spits out is insane. Now you got to check for hallucinations. So for things like that, I've got buddies, or a buddy, my good buddy is a doctor, and sports medicine is his specialty. So for stuff like that, I check for accuracy. But my point is, like, there's no limit to it. ChatGPT has pretty much crawled the entire internet. The entire internet. This is crazy. You could probably, I'm not suggesting you do this, but you could probably ask it for advice as if it were me. I'm not suggesting, but like you can ask, I got enough words out there. Or you could ask it for advice as if it were whoever, right? Like I do this. Alex Hormozy, Donald Miller. I've been on a Donald Miller kick. Donald Miller is StoryBrand, and I'll share why I've been on a Donald Miller kick in a minute when I get to the third of these three. But you can ask it to act as that person and provide you with advice about marketing or business or whatever. Okay, I think I beat a dead horse here. Okay, number 2, minimum effective dose. Right, so this is the 9th tool, maybe 10th, depending on how we're counting. But this is number 2 on the minimum effective dose. Your MLS. Your MLS. I know it is incredibly obvious. I know. But I guarantee all of you have business just hanging out in your MLS. It's just hanging out there. And I was doing a coaching call with an agent partner this morning before this session to help her get clarity on her goal for 2026 and our daily scorecard. What do we need to do each day to hit that goal? One of the client avatars that it's very obvious she needs to be doing more business with is multifamily investors. She had a limiting belief about investors and them knowing everything about the deals in her MLS. Well, they're looking in the MLS. They're doing this, that, and the other thing. And so I, too, had this limiting belief less than a year ago. I really just very recently shifted back to more of my energy, time, and money on working with active real estate investors. It's how I got started in the business years ago, but one way or another kind of lost my path. I too had the limiting belief. And she kept telling me, well, but if I bring these deals to my investors, they already know they're there. So I was amused by myself. She's talking, I'm dialing the number of a multifamily property in her market. She's in New York. I won't tell her what part of New York. And I just called one of the listing agents. And in 3 minutes, she gave me way more than any investor could find in the MLS listing, on Zillow, on Realtor, on Homes, anywhere. I can now go to investors in that market, and I've got insider information. That agent only shared that information with me because I identified myself as another agent. If an investor had called looking for intel, most agents, their guard goes right up. Whoa. You're just going to make some lowball offer. I got to protect my client. No. But when you call as an agent and you're just genuinely curious, hey, what's going on with this deal? What's going on with this? What's the scoop on this one? I mean, she gave me everything. I mean, everything. It was 5 minutes of ammunition I now have to reach out to active investor buyers about that property. I'm telling you, there is gold in your MLS. And I'm preaching to myself because, like, literally, I the beginning of this year didn't really see that much opportunity in there. And it's like, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'm telling you, there's gold in your MLS. You're already paying for it. At least most of you are. You might as well use it as a way to generate business. And if you're not sure, like the 2 weeks ago, I shared my 3-step plan for 50 closings in 2026 with no ad budget. Part of that plan includes using your MLS to find on-market deals. You can go check that out. There's a free Google Doc that I have. There's more than 13 ways on there that you can find on-market and off-market deals. You find a good deal, and then the last on the list, and this is very self-serving, I will fully admit it, but here's why I'm sharing this last. and I want to tell the story of why this thing exists. My last one on the list is LeadDeck.ai. Here's why this exists. And I'm going to tie the loop on Donald Miller and StoryBrand. I was working on how do I effectively tell the story of why LeadDeck exists. So please humor me and play along. Whether in your mind or on the screen here, raise your hand if you're a realtor who has ever felt stuck or struggled with the commission roller coaster, or the feast and famine. I've got a great month and then a down month and a great month. Like, have you ever felt that pain? Well, I can say with full transparency, I have too. Lots. And it's why my buddy Sean and I built LeadDeck. It is a tool that you can use to connect with and generate motivated seller and cash buyer lists instantly, so you can get into conversations with people who need your help or want your help today. And so you never have to wonder where your next client or closing will come from. You can create a free account, and watch this. I'm going to demo this. We've been working really hard on making this just as easy and smooth for you to see how well the system works. We just wanted to remove as much friction as possible. You go and create your free account. So click create free account. You got to choose an email. I keep having to use test emails. You got to choose a password. You got to re-enter your password. Put in your name and your zip code. Now, your favorite zip code. Just pick the zip code you live in or the zip code you'd love to get more business. The reality is, once you're in the system, you can look for motivated sellers or the active cash buyers or other investor buyer types in any areas, any zip code, any city, any county, but you got to start with a zip code. So start with one. I'm going to start with 17013. It says creating account and grabbing your first 10 seller leads. And just like that, my account is created and I have 10 distressed seller, motivated seller leads immediately in my deal deck. And I can start reaching out to these. For example, Matthew. I got to be careful here. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. But I can immediately start reaching out using the script that I already mentioned numerous times. Hey, Matthew, would you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine before the end of the year? Or before the end of the winter, right? End of the year is getting a little tight on that to be able to settle before the end of the year. Okay. Minimum effective dose, ChatGPT. And if you like Gemini or another one, whatever, but you should be using some AI as a thought partner. Number 2, your MLS. You're probably already paying for it. And number 3, LeadDeck.ai. How does LeadDeck get their leads? Eric, thanks for the question. We use the same data that PropStream uses. We're paying a pretty penny for that data, and it's the exact same data as PropStream. And it comes from who's the big company that owns them? Stewart Title. Stewart Title owns they're the big conglomerate that owns the data feed. That is the data that PropStream uses and Batch Leads used to use, but now they're conjoined or whatever. We're using the exact same data. Kevin, who did I represent on that transaction? Which one are we talking about? The off-market one? I think we're probably talking the off-market one. People, I get these questions a lot on transactions like that. It's not a chicken and egg thing. Who did I have the relationship with first? So in that scenario, the relationship I had was with Steve first. I had already listed his vacant land, and I was going to be the one listing his 2-unit. So I wrote it up with the buyer as an unrepresented buyer and me as representing the seller. Now you can do it however you want. I mean, within reason, meaning like some states have some states don't allow dual agency. Like, it's just figure it out and just be transparent. Like that's all it is. Now I have another I have an agent that recently joined with us, a new agent partner. She's bringing over some other agents with her as well. She's already got 2 that I think are starting onboarding today or early next week. And she had a similar question in that she found a for sale by owner that looks like it would be a good deal for an investor, meaning it needs work, but there's an opportunity to flip. She confirmed with the for sale by owner that they would be willing to pay a finder's fee. And she was like, well, how do I write it up if I bring a buyer? Well, I mean, how would you write it up with a normal for sale by owner? You're going to represent the buyer and the seller's unrepresented, right? So it's whatever the situation calls for, and as long as you're transparent, I think is the best way to handle it. Good question. Giselle, thanks for the kind words. Campbell said he's doing something similar with his signs and listings to leads. George, better than Facebook ads. I'm not sure what you mean. Is what better than Facebook ads? I'm not sure what that meant. Let me show a couple other cool things. You know what? I hate demoing listings or a lead deck because it always ends up showing data. But let me demo this point. Let me demo this point. Okay. You go create your free account. Okay. Leaddeck.ai. You go and create your free account. You get 50 free credits, but 10 are used immediately to pull those 10 motivated seller leads. And the way we're pulling them is based upon the zip code, and we've got a bucket of motivation filters. Okay, so it's just pulling those initial ones. But before you go spending more credits or anything like that, what I would recommend is play with the tool and see what kind of lead counts there are for different types. So for example, I put in 17013. So I've got 10 in my deal deck now. I have 10 properties, 10 potentially motivated sellers. Well, what if I don't have cash buyers in that area? Okay, well let's see how many we could find using the tool in the area. So I go back to my dashboard, I go new buyer target, I select zip code, I type in the zip code 17013. Cash buyers is selected here, and I run check lead count. How many lead? 47. Almost, it cut me off. I couldn't even finish my sentence. 47 cash buyers in that zip code that own at least 5 properties and have bought at least one in the last 3 years in that zip code cash. Now, it just means that there's not a mortgage. They might have used a line of credit or some private money or whatever, but for all intents and purposes, there wasn't a financing contingency. It was a cash offer, okay? To unlock some of these other categories and other ways that we can filter for motivation, we have added 2 paid plans. There will always be a free version, pay-as-you-go credits, always. But you can upgrade to Pro or Power and unlock some additional utility. Okay? Let's go back. Maybe we want to find other motivated sellers. So I want in this zip code, I want, look at this. Look at this. Sean has improved this greatly. I want this zip code involuntary liens. How many are there? 367 involuntary liens in that zip code. Holy smokes. Now, what could I do with that? Well, if I upgrade to the Pro or the Power plan, actually, if I upgrade to the Power plan, I can link this up with my cold outreach CRM. I can API webhook that info in there, and then I can run that text and email sequence that I mentioned. Would you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine before the end of the winter? What other questions, either about that or any of the tools and technologies that I had shared here? My intent was certainly not to overwhelm. It was that I wanted to share what's working for me, how I've done that, and then also give you, like, look, minimum effective dose. Start from there. Eric, thank you. It's good to see you. Appreciate it. Same to you. Eric says, thanks. Have a nice Thanksgiving and a holiday season. Amen. When he sold, shelf life. Yeah, so Kevin was saying shelf life, meaning that the postcard has a shelf life, right? An email has a small shelf life, right? Because we all get lots of emails every day. A text message has a little bit longer shelf life, I would say. Like, I do have people that will occasionally call or text me back from a text that I had sent. In fact, I have a deal I'm negotiating for myself, a 4-unit. I had sent a cold text. Here, this is a beautiful way of looping this all together. Okay. I got a lead from homes.com or Zillow. I don't remember, but it was a portal lead from one of them on one of my listings. A free lead, meaning they requested info on my listing. I'm not running ads. I'm not paying Zillow. I do pay homes.com. They have a little like subscription thing that I have been pleased with. I pay them like $150 a month or something like that. But that's not what generated the lead. What generated the lead is I had a listing. The listing came from a contact in my CRM. Oh, this is beautiful, actually. Oh my goodness. This is like what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, this is perfect synergy. That listing came from the same text email sequence that I did the case study that I took 2 listings on 2 weeks ago. It just so happened that it came from that sequence, that action plan, that playbook, late spring or early summer. It was kind of a messy situation. She was in a bad spot. It's an ugly transaction. We're under contract now. It's a short sale, etc. Regardless, that listing came from that activity. I got a lead. Her name is Heike. I got a lead. She was requesting information on that listing. I used this text script. Campbell, that doesn't look like you. Something's going on. I got I
Doesn't look like me. He's got a shiny bald head.
I can whoa man, that is great. Oh man, I'm now distracted. I'm sorry. Okay. No. I liked it better that way. I liked it better the other way. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. And I got to wrap up here because I have a settlement. And actually Seth was. Oh, hold on. Let me just close the loop on this. So I get this lead through the portal. I call her and I use one of this script. If you are getting any leads on your listings, this script is working like, it's so simple, but it works like crazy. Hey, James, it looks like you requested info about our listing at street address, ? Even though it's not a question, you're questioning it. Did you get all the info you were looking for? That's it. It looks like you requested info for about our listing, not my listing, our listing. Because the reality is, yes, your name is on the listing, but the seller gave you permission. So it's our listing. It's the seller and I. Our listing at street address, ? Did you get all the info you were looking for? ? She replies, this is on one of my live streams. It's weeks ago now. We had like a 20-minute conversation on the live stream. I'm looking for my parents. They have this house. They need to sell it, blah, 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 blah. On that live stream, I get the appointment for to go and look at their house. I've now sold their house off market. It's not closed yet. It's closing December 8th. They're buying they bought a brand new manufactured home in a 55 plus community. We're settling on that on the 12th. And also to help to try and sell their ranch house. They have a ranch house that they wanted to sell off market. The husband requires a lot of care. He pretty much has a full hospital set up in the house. And so, like, to accommodate showings, they just didn't want to go there. They just didn't want to, they just wanted to sell it off market. I used LeadDeck.ai to find the active buyers in that zip code. I reached out to six. Two of them said they were at first interested. I sent the info, and when I followed up with them, both of them said, it's not really what I'm looking for. One of them told me I'm looking for X. They're looking for townhouses without an HOA in that area. The other one told me, I really am looking for multifamily properties in these three cities. I then found the multifamily property owners in those three cities that might have motivation and did outreach. I've had multiple conversations and now am negotiating on for myself on a 4-unit. Why did I share that story? Like, it started with a person in my KB Core CRM, my Bold Trail CRM, that I had email and primary address for. I ran the playbook. I got the listing. One of the listing leads that I got from that turned into 2 transactions. I used that one as another reason to create more to go and have more conversations. And I now picked up, I have 2 active investor clients, and I might be buying, like, I'm just waiting for the signed digital signing. Like, you just, one thing leads to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Campbell.
Okay, Josh, with the LeadDeck, explain the off-market matchmaker for distressed properties, because that's a new feature and I know nothing about it. I'd like to learn a little bit on that.
Yeah. I can't get over it. It's cracking me up. I need to figure that out for myself. I can only imagine what the version of that looks like for me. Okay. So, oh boy, it's noon. Let's do this. I'm going to show the what you get with the free version. So what Campbell is talking about is this MLS matchmaker, and specifically the off-market matchmaker, okay? And the off-market works the same, but I'm not going to upgrade because I have like 12 different LeadDeck accounts because I demo it so often, and if I already have an account, I can't really demo the sign-up purpose. So I can't show the paid version of this. But I will. I'll create a demo of my like primary account on the paid version. I just don't even have it yet because this is so new. But the way it works is this, and then I'm gonna have to wrap on this. Oh shoot, I gotta pull buyers. Daggone it. You got to have buyers to do this. So let me do this. So I go buyer, and I want the cash buyers in Carlisle. Okay, 17013. Check the lead count. I think it. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, I had too many. There aren't 6-digit zip codes. So I've got 47. I'm gonna create that, and I'm gonna run this. So this is gonna spend 10 credits, and it's going to go find the first 10 cash buyers on the list. So I'm gonna run that now. And in a matter of seconds, in my deal deck, let me reload this. In a matter of seconds, you saw it pop up there. It shows up there. If I click on this and I view the investor, okay, and I'm trying to move fast because I don't want to show data that'll get this. I can then watch this. And I don't know what's going to happen here because it will depend on what is available in the MLS. But what this is doing is it's using, I'm going to say AI, but it's using data and a little bit of AI to go and find properties that, based upon this investor's existing portfolio, might be a match to that buy box, to their types, their buy box. So if I go run MLS matchmaker again, it worked. These are active MLS listings that might fit this investor's buy box. The off-market version of that is going and finding properties that fit their portfolio buy box and also have one of the distress factors or filters for that fit, meaning they're behind on taxes, or they have an involuntary lien, or they're pre-foreclosure, or they're pre-probate, or they've got an inherited property, this, that, and the other thing. That is still very new, and I'm sure we're going to have to work out a whole bunch of bugs on it, but it's pretty freaking cool. And I would be more than happy to demo it in more detail with you, Campbell, as well. I have to go because I have a settlement soon, and I got, I think, one. Let me just make sure here. Did it settle? My 11 a.m. Just left closing. Giddy up. All right, one down, one to go. So that's 14, not 13, and hopefully 15 by the end of the day. I will have the replay of this. We'll edit this, clean it up, get rid of all the ums and uhs that I can't help but saying on these. I'm getting better, though. The more I go live and the more I record myself, I'm getting a little bit better at that. I'll clean it up. I will also build out a doc with all of the resources that I mentioned. And for those of you that want to check those out, you can check them out there. No more live streams or masterminds until December 1st on Monday. I hope you all, most of you, many of you in here are in the States. Some of you are in north of the border, but most of you are in the States here. So happy Thanksgiving to all of you. I hope you have some time to recharge, and then I'll be back at it Monday, December 1st for the live stream. And next Wednesday for our mastermind, we have a special guest who is joining us, Matt Rohr Gardner. Rohr is his call sign. And he's going to be talking about working with investor clients and investing as an agent as well. And I'm excited to have him on. He's got a great book. Doggone it, I can't remember. But if you look up his name on Amazon, Matt Rohr Gardner, he wrote a book about sort of his path in real estate and working with investors and becoming one himself. So thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving, and hope to talk to you real soon. Seth, man, I am incredibly sorry. I didn't realize that you didn't get the settlement notification from the settlement officer. I thought you were on all of that email string. Oh, geez, Louise. I'm incredibly sorry. I thought for sure you were on those. So the address is, I know exactly where it is, but I always forget the address. 2309 Market Street, Camp Hill. And let me just make sure I've got the final HUD here. Let me just want to make sure I have the correct amount. Where is it? Jeanette. October 24th. This should be the right one. See, secured. Actual HUD. Okay. Let me just triple check with Jeanette that this is right. What I have is cash from buyer. It was what I have is 134, 308, and 10 cents. But let me. There was a lot of back and forth between Jeanette and the bank. It shouldn't change yours, but I just want to make sure nothing changed on that amount. So give me. I'm going to call her, and I will call you right back. Okay. Thanks. Yes. Hi. Is Jeanette in? Yep. Josh Shanley, 580 North Middleton, Carlisle. Hey, I am just triple checking Seth's amount for settlement. Yep. Okay, that's what I gave him, but I just want to make sure that I didn't think that changed, but I just want to make certain. Andy's bringing it.
Okay, perfect.
Yep. Yep.
Right. And unfortunately, we have triple booking, so we're going to have to go back into our kitchen area. We have a table back there, but
Okay.
I figure it's just going to be cash. So
Yeah,
I'll take all of you guys back there, all right?
All good.
Okay, thanks.
You bet. See you in a bit.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Uh-huh.
It is 134 308 10. 134 308 10. I want to say again, this is totally my fault. I thought you were on those HUD notification and the settlement I forget what they call it. And I should never assume. I really thought you were on those, and I hadn't heard from you, so I figured, oh, all is good. But totally my bad. I should have confirmed that sooner for you. So we were or are scheduled at 1. Is that? I mean, I would say it totally. Yeah. And I mean, it shouldn't take long. If you can. Yep. Oh, Simple Home Settlements LLC. And I would put the address in the memo line, even if it's just the street address, but just. Yep. 580 North Middleton. Nope. And you'll just, I mean, you've done this before, but you'll just need your ID. Beautiful. I'll see you in a bit. And again, my bad. All right. Thanks. See ya.